Welcome to the third episode of GenAIPulse with me, Lakshmi. In this series, I'll be taking you through the latest from the world of GenAI. And as always, I'll leave all the links in the comments section. So let's get started. So let's get started with this paper titled Generative Image Dynamics from Google Research. The authors present an approach to understand and model the patterns of motion in images. The model learns from real life video sequences of natural movements such as trees swaying, flowers moving, and clothes blowing in the wind. And once trained, it uses a specialized process to predict how each pixel in an image will move over time. So, applications to this concept are mainly twofold. One is where you have a input image and you can convert it into a seamless looping video, or you could convert this image into an interactive dynamic scene. So if you kind of scroll down, you will kind of see some videos where which have been created from images. And if you kind of scroll down further, there's a try it yourself section where three images are provided. You could choose one of them. And once you've chosen an image, you could kind of click on them and kind of drag it towards one direction. And then you will see that a video is created where the leaf in this case is kind of moving in the direction that we selected, right? And also motion magnification and minification is possible, and this is done by adjusting the amplitude of motion textures. And with that, we move into another paper which is titled Navigating the Technological Frontier, Field Experimental Evidence of the Effects of AI on Knowledge Worker Productivity and Quality. So, um, ever since ChatGPT, Bard, and Claude became part of our life, one of the most often asked questions is AI going to replace humans? And the answer that we hear is no, it's by AI is not going to replace humans, but people who know AI are going to replace the people who do not know AI. And this paper is about a study which has been conducted by some social scientists from Harvard, Wharton, MIT, Sloan School, as well as along with the BCG team. And if you kind of scroll down to, I think it was page 32, yes, they kind of have shown the results of their study as well here. So, what was the study that they did? So, these scientists, along with BCG, took 18 different tasks that were selected as realistic samples of the kind of work done in an allied consulting company. And the consultants using ChatGPT 4 outperformed consultants who did not. And they outperformed them on every dimension and in every way performance was measured. Now, coming to the graph. So, here blue shows the set of people who did not use ChatGPT, and the green and the red show the people who have used ChatGPT 4, and the red was the group which used GPT with some training. And the paper also provides some numbers. I think this was on page 3. This is such an interesting paper, and maybe one of these days I'm really going to put out a video exclusively on this. So here basically what they talk about is the numbers they have gained, right, by using ChatGPT. So if you look here, it says that people who used AI completed 12.2 percentage more tasks on average and completed them 25.1 percentage faster. Also, the group which used AI produced 40% higher quality results compared to the group which did not. So, as I said, exciting times ahead. So, from there, let's kind of leave the papers behind and move to the announcement from OpenAI. So, OpenAI announced the next version of DALI, which is DALI 3, which is basically a text to image generator. And DAL E3 is built natively on ChatGPT, and it lets you use ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner and refiner of your prompts. And the website also says that just ask ChatGPT what you want to see in anything from a simple sentence to a detailed paragraph. So DALI 3 will be available to ChatGPT Plus and enterprise customers in early October. And if you kind of scroll up a bit, um, the site also explains the advantages that DALI 3 is going to have. So modern text-to-image systems have a tendency to ignore words or descriptions, forcing users to learn prompt engineering. DALI 3 represents a leap forward in our ability to generate images that exactly adhere to the text you provide. And if you kind of come down, they have kind of provided the example of a scene. Uh, and there's something more interesting here. So what they've done is they said using the same prompt, they've given two images. So the prompt is basically an expressive oil painting of a basketball player during dunking, depicted as an explosion of a nebula. So on the left, you see the image that DALI 2 generates, and on the right, you see an image that DALI 3 generates. So obviously you see improvement in quality, but it's not yet available. So once it's available, then we need to kind of try it out and see what more can be done. Also, there is a nice video here giving some sample or say sorry giving some examples of how DALI produces an image of for different text. Okay, so with that, let's move to Google now. So Google released an updated version of the Palm 2 model, and with that, they have come up with the something called the Bard extensions. So they call it a way of what do you say, a completely new way to interact and collaborate with Bard. So with this extensions, Bard can find relevant information from Google tools such as Gmails, Docs, Google Drive, Maps, YouTube, hotels, or flight. So I was kind of playing around with it a bit, and this is how the extensions are. And in case you don't want to use any of these extensions, you could kind of just turn them off. So what I did was I kind of made an example, and it was like, give me a template on how to write an article about a recent movie I watched. Show me videos about them for inspiration. So it goes on to create a template for writing the about the movie I watch, and it gives a list of videos that might be inspiration for writing this article. And followed by that, it also kind of gives some actual samples, right? So videos about article writing, how to write an article. And then yeah, here is another video that YouTube video link that it has provided, which is like how to write movie articles and rank post on Google first page, how to write an article, so on and so forth. And Google has also come up, sorry, Bard has also come up with this button called Google It. So this is a very, very interesting concept, right? So what it does is it helps you double check your responses. So the Bard gave you some output, and then you click on the Google It button, and then what will happen is Bard will read the response and then evaluate whether there is other content across the web to substantiate it. And if there is, then that part of the text will be highlighted in green. And if it is not, then it would be highlighted in, say, orange or red. And this is just one of the features. And let's kind of just take a quick look at the other features that are part of this release. So now users can start in one language in Bard and then continue in up to 40 plus other languages, ask for in-depth coding assistance. And then we saw that it has extensions with which you can connect to Gmail, Docs, YouTube, etc. And also what we also spoke about the ability to double check the content using the Google button. And another feature that they have come up with is if someone shares a Bard conversation with you through Bard's public link sharing feature, then you can continue that conversation in your account and build off what they started. So I find this a great tool for collaboration, because when you're kind of brainstorming ideas, or when you're kind of trying to work on building something, you kind of do that and then you're kind of stuck, or you don't have time and kind of pass it on to somebody, then they can kind of continue from there. So another feature is where you can upload images with Google Lens and get Google search images in responses as well. So with that, let me move to the next topic, which is IDE fix. I don't know how exactly to pronounce that, but basically it stands for image aware decoder a la Flamingo with interleaved cross attentions. So in simple terms, what uh, it is, what do you say? It is basically an open source recreation of Flamingo, which was a closed source visual language developed by DeepMind. IDA has been launched by Hugging Face, and it has been built using only public data and images. So this can process images and text together to do things like answer questions about images, describe visual content, and create stories using multiple images. It's basically 80 billion parameter model, and this, I guess, is the largest publicly available model so far. And if you kind of scroll down, you will kind of see some examples that they have built it. So when you click on them, so like I've chosen the one with the picture of a burger, and so basically the input to the model is this image and a text which is give me a short and easy recipe for this dish, and then the output you get is this one. So this is, there is a simple recipe for a delicious burger. So there are quite a few examples that are pre-built which you can try it out. And yeah, I want to go somewhere similar to the one in the photo. Give me destination and travel tips. And yeah, so just a few other popular tourist destinations, right? Which are for beach lovers. So again, very very interesting tool which is multimodal. And with that, we come to the final part of today's um, uh, video, and that is again another paper. So, as I talked about the first two papers, this is again something very interesting, and I'm really thinking of doing a separate video on these papers themselves. So, coming back to the topic, this paper titled GPT-4 Summarization with Chain of Density Prompting. So, it focuses on creating effective summaries, emphasizing the challenge of finding the right balance between detail and clarity. So the paper introduces a method called chain of uh, density, or the COD prompt, which gradually enhances a summary by adding key information without making the summary longer. The COD generated summaries are more abstract, cohesive, and less biased than those from a standard prompt. And also, human preference study was conducted on 100 CNN Daily Mail articles, and the study showed that the preference for GPT-4 summaries using COD was more than that with plain vanilla. That is because they were almost as dense as a human summary. So, in this paper, they have also given an example of a chain of density prompt. Let me kind of try to make it bigger. And what happens here is that the initial step in the COD prompt involves instructing the GPT-4 to craft an initial summary with minimal elements. Subsequently, the prompt guides GPT to refine the summary by incorporating additional details. And what happens, and this the steps will be repeated, right? And basically what happens here is that the length of the summary remains the same, but the density of information increases. Okay. And with that, I come to the end of this episode. So let me know what you think about it in the comments section. And thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode. Thank you.